Україно, рідна земля мати, Господь, Отець наш Небесний, благословіть.
Благословіть! Товарищи офицеры, товарищ Верховный Главнокомандующий, офицеры указанной категории.
Putin's top general has not been seen in 31 days. On Monday, it is exactly 1 month since the commander of the Russian forces in Ukraine last appeared in public. It is speculated that he was killed in an attack against occupied Crimea. Valeryi Gerasimov is chief of the Russian General Staff, and together with Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, he belongs to the top 2 in the military in Russia. On December 29th, Komsomolskaya Pravda and other Russian media reported that Gerasimov presented medals of honor to soldiers who had taken part in the battles for the town of Marinka in the Donetsk region. It has long been speculated whether Gerasimov may have been killed in a Ukrainian missile attack against a Russian command post on the Crimean Peninsula on the 4th of January. Russian authorities have not commented on the speculation, nor has anything concrete been said from the official side in Kiev. Visegrad 24 wrote that 23 Russian soldiers were killed in the attack on the Saki base in Crimea on the 4th of January. 5 of them are said to have been officers of high rank. Several Telegram channels have speculated that Gerasimov was present at the Russian military base that day, but no one has come forward with evidence. The more days that pass without Gerasimov appearing in public, the more the rumors gain a foothold. On Saturday, there was a commemoration in St. Petersburg of the 80th anniversary of the end of Nazi Germany's blockade of what was then Leningrad. Vladimir Putin was there, but neither of the 2 military leaders. It is difficult to say, answers Danish Jacob Karsbo, senior analyst at Think Tank Europe, and former employee of the Defense Intelligence Service, when VG asks. What suggests that he may be dead is that from the beginning of January there has been a specific attack in Crimea, where he has been. On the other hand, there have been rumors in the past about the death of many top Russian people, which have been wrong. It is also not unusual for Gerasimov not to be seen in public for long periods of time. It has happened before. We must also remember that Gerasimov was also reported killed in an attack in Donbass in 2022. Says Jacob Karsbo to VG. He concludes that it is all an open question. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu last appeared in public on January 12th when he visited a missile factory in the Moscow region. VG has not been able to find in the photos that Gerasimov was on this visit. Gerasimov is considered the 3rd most powerful in the Russian military, after Vladimir Putin and Sergei Shoigu. He has been criticized by many nationalist military bloggers for Russia's failure to subjugate Ukraine. This applies, among other things, to the dead Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin and the ultra-nationalist Igor Girkin, who last week was sentenced to 4 years in prison for inciting extremism. Jan Kalberg, American military analyst and associated with the Center for European Policy Analysis, follows the war closely and writes on X, "I have begun to believe that General Gerasimov may be dead." Kalberg continues, "If he is, and if the Russians say he died for a medical reason, then the Ukrainians killed him. If the Russians say the Ukrainians killed him, then the Kremlin killed him itself. That's how Russian lying works. These lies become predictable over time." In September 2023, the commander of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, Viktor Sokolov, suddenly disappeared. Ukrainian special forces claim he was killed in an attack against Crimea on the 25th of September. There has never been any proof of this, nor has there been any Russian statement about Admiral Sokolov. Anyway, he has not been seen in public since then. Believe it or not, but Russia has lost 21 generals in its failed invasion of Ukraine. This is the biggest loss of generals in such a short time in the known human history of warfare. In the beginning, on February 24, 2022, Russia started the war with 190,000 personnel, and after 650 days of war, Russia lost far more in Ukraine than it intended for the invasion. Russia lost 333,840 so far, and unfortunately for Russian minorities, for 1 killed ethnic Russian, there are 87 Dagestanis, 275 Buryats, and 350 Tuvans. For an illustration, the Soviets lost 15,000 soldiers in Afghanistan in 10 years of war. There are also approximately 1 million wounded, according to statistics. For 1 killed, there are 2 to 5 wounded. Ukrainians right now have more than 16,000 Russian prisoners of war. Also, Russians lost 323 aircrafts, 324 helicopters, 5,587 tanks, 10,416 armored personal vehicles, 913 Grad rocket launchers, 605 air defense systems, 6,032 drones, 23 Navy vessels, 7,987 artillery systems, 10,483 military vehicles, 1,570 cruise missiles, and 1,148 pieces of special equipment. And this is the interesting part. An updated list of Russian generals and some senior commanders killed in Ukraine. Lieutenant General Yakov Ryazantsev, Lieutenant General Ann Mordvichev, Major General Oleg Mityayev, Major General Andrei Kolesnikov, Major General Vitaly Petrovich Gerasimov, Major General Andrei Sukhovetsky, Major General Magomed Tushayev, Major General Vladislav Yershov, Major General Nikolai Zusko, Major General Vladimir Frolov, Major General Andrew Simonov, Major General Kanamat Bodashev, Major General Valeryi Osipov, Major General Roman Kutuzov, Lieutenant General Roman Bernikov, Major General Nazbolin, Major General Oleg Sokov, wounded, Major General Dmitry Ulyanov, Major General Sergei Goryachev, and last but not least, Major General Vladimir Zavadsky. In general, as on November 30th, 2023 Ukrainians killed more than 3,237 officers of different ranges. 82 colonels, 190 lieutenant colonels, 377 majors, 554 captains, 930 senior lieutenants, 586 lieutenants, 83 junior lieutenant, and 428 with other ranks. Second Army in the world. Ladies and gentlemen,